The first day back in office, President Trump signed an executive order, and that order was aimed at ending automatic citizenship rights for nearly anyone born on US territory, and that's commonly referred to as birthright citizenship. Now, it's in the Constitution, which establishes the principle of birthright citizenship, but Donald Trump doesn't agree with that. He wanted to limit that. When he issued that executive order, there were instant lawsuits from judges in district courts in Maryland, Massachusetts and Washington, basically issuing nationwide injunctions that blocked that order from taking effect. They described it as blatantly unconstitutional. So Trump's Department of Justice challenge that. So here we are now. So whilst this is not directly about birthright citizenship, the question essentially was, can a single judge block an executive order for the entire country? And the Supreme Court is saying no, they can't. And so what that is a win for President Trump in the sense that he loves to govern through executive orders, but his executive orders are always blocked by lots of lower courts. And so essentially this will make it easier for him to push through his executive orders. Now, what that means for birthright citizenship. So if you are someone here in the US on a visa, or you are an illegal immigrant or an immigrant or what have you, and Donald Trump does not want your child to have birthright citizenship, we don't know yet what that means. It's pretty unclear at the moment. And I mean, the lower court could step back in. They could issue a new injunction based on the state claims. It's pretty complicated. But just to give you the comment by Justice Barrett, who wrote for the majority, she says the executive order on birthright citizenship shall not take effect until 30 days after the date of this opinion. So that delay in some ways gives time for another way to challenge the order. So at the moment, we're still sort of working through it and trying to understand what it all means. But I suppose the headline is that this is a victory for President Trump.
You were just taking us through, Nomia, the implications for birthright citizenship. But from my reading of what you just said there, this extends to all those other sorts of areas. And we see the flurry, the avalanche of executive orders from this president all of the time. So presumably, does this cover all of those potential areas?
In theory, yes, I think it does, because, just to give you some background on this, basically conservatives and liberal justices, there's always been this sort of argument that one district should not be able to unilaterally decide policy for the entire country. I just want to comment, just to give you a comment from Elena Kagan, who is a liberal justice. She said back in 2022, it can't be right that one district judge can stop a nationwide policy in its tracks and leave it stopped for the years that it takes to go through the normal process, something that the Conservative Justice Clarence Thomas also agreed on. And the problem with injunctions also is that they enable what's known as sort of forum shopping. So basically, you file a lawsuit in a jurisdiction where there might be a more favourable ruling. And the Trump administration's argument is that this is blocking our executive orders, that he's been elected into office. He loves to govern through executive order rather than going through Congress. So he wants his policies to be implemented. But those who back injunctions, just to give you that side of it, they say that it's needed because otherwise the power of the executive branch could go unchecked. And for many who are critical of President Trump, who are concerned by his agenda, they see these injunctions as the only legal mechanism to prevent his agenda from being implemented.
Well, that was Nomia Iqbal, Nomia talking about analysis of it being a big win for Donald Trump. That's exactly what he has said. He has just posted on Truth Social, reacting to what the Supreme Court has decided, saying it is a giant win in the United States. He then goes on to say even the birthright citizenship hoax, as he describes it, has been indirectly hit hard. It had to do with babies of slaves, not the scamming, he says, of our immigration process, and then congratulates the Attorney General and the Solicitor General.